EOS Nation levels up our infrastructure, Block.one dishes out millions to EOSIO projects, EOS Genesis account holders who've lost their keys gain new hope, and the Anchor wallet goes mobile. Plus a whole lot more spicy goodness. I'm Daniel Keys, and this is episode 57 of the EOS Hot Sauce. As always, our spicy weekly updates are available in every format. Watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud or your favorite podcast player, or read it at eosnation.io. That's also where you can subscribe to the newsletter to get that spicy sauce poured straight into your inbox. However you prefer it, help spread the sauce by smashing that like, ringing that bell, and giving us a 5-star rating. Let's get to this week's spicy goodness. First up, let's take a peek under the hood with some sweet EOS Nation infrastructure improvements. Over the last few months, we've made significant changes to our infrastructure based on lessons learned over the past 2 years of testing and optimizing hardware for EOSIO purposes. Our hardware is optimized for the specific requirements of the variety of services we offer, and we want to take the time to share what we've been doing and the positive impacts it will bring to many of our services. EOS Nation makes infrastructure improvements a priority, which is reflected in the highly performant hardware we use to continually offer world-class services on EOSIO networks we serve. Our bare metal hardware spans multiple data centers, and we use different network providers located in multiple jurisdictions for maximum redundancy. Our latest changes come in 3 parts: data center space, server infrastructure, and network bandwidth. Let's have a look at each in more detail. First, data center space. The data center we were hosting most of our services had limited space and was not cost efficient, but was otherwise working well. We now moved our primary data center to a new location with much more space for us to grow, while reducing our costs at the same time. We now use twice as much space and have room to grow some more as needed. Next, server infrastructure. Our block producing nodes have been using Intel Core i9900K processors for a long time. We've now upgraded to the newer i9900Ks for all of our block producer nodes across all of the EOSIO networks on which we produce blocks. This CPU change increased our clock speed from 4.6 GHz to 5 GHz. And while we were at it, we also doubled the RAM on the i9s to 128 GB per server. As explained in a previous article, we run private peer-to-peer blocks and transaction nodes to exchange blocks with other block producers. These nodes have been upgraded with i9-9900K processors too. Now all of our EOS mainnet public API and peer-to-peer nodes are using the same i9-9900K processors to ensure transactions submitted to our API are billed at the same price they will be executed on our block signing nodes. We also increased the i9 servers running peer-to-peer nodes on our backup block producing data center. With the i9-9900K processors being consumer class hardware, it takes up quite a bit of rack space compared to the Xeon-based servers, which we currently use for the most critical parts of our infrastructure. Speaking of Xeon servers, we're happy to announce that we're in the process of deploying new Xeon Gold 6248R based servers. These heavy-duty servers have 768 GB of RAM and many terabytes of storage space. It has the hardware nerds inside EOS Nation extremely excited. These servers will be used to continue providing Hyperion history services, among other things. Stay tuned for our publication for more Xeon Gold updates in the future. And finally, network bandwidth. Our expanding list of tools also requires more network bandwidth to support them, so we increased network bandwidth by 8x in partnership with our provider, DNS Networks. What does this all mean for dApps, wallets, and all EOSIO network users? It means better infrastructure for everyone since we now offer more performant EOSIO API nodes, the ability to handle all incoming peer-to-peer requests, public history, and an up-to-date EOS Detective. We're committed to investing in EOSIO infrastructure and delivering world-class services to all of our users. This set of changes positions us to be ready for the next phase of growth that we anticipate for our EOSIO networks. Thank you for supporting EOS Nation. Your votes are important to us, so show your support by visiting proxy.eosnation.io. Up next, Block.one just dished out $1.9 million to EOSIO projects. This week, Block.one announced they've awarded 34 projects with $50,000 grants through their EOS VC fund, and another $200,000 to Syed Jaffrey for winning the EOSIO challenge. When Block.one announced the EOS VC grants program in December 2019, the EOSIO developer community was excited to fill out the application for a chance of receiving a $50,000 grant. During some recent Twitter conversations on the topic, Brendan Bloomer reaffirmed that Block.one supports startups that have a thoughtful business plan and show signs of execution capability, while also highlighting that these grants are aimed for developers who realize that the power of the EOSIO tech stack is what is needed to power their application. Many of these projects receiving grants have been mentioned in previous EOS Hot Sauce publications such as Genobank.io, Herd, Karma, Lime Labs, PUML, EOS Writer, and WordProof. We were also happy to see new projects that we had not heard of before, and we recommend our readers read the Block.one article that contains the full list of projects along with brief descriptions of the product and use case. Sectors that have seen support for these grants are extremely varied and include advertising, media, digital authenticity, supply chain management, data insights, cyber insurance, portfolio management, and others. The $200,000 award to Syed Jeffrey is for his outstanding work completing the EOSIO challenge to create an application running on an EOSIO blockchain that provides a full Ethereum application environment, much like a virtual machine. It's a significant step towards blockchain interoperability. Developers who are used to coding Solidity now have a bridge that allows them to build their application on EOSIO without having to learn a new coding language. The EOSIO challenge kicked off on February 3, 2020 with more than 800 registrants. Syed's winning solution is open source as a developer tool, which we've linked to in the written version of this week's EOS Hot Sauce at eosnation.io. We're happy to see so many forward-looking projects receiving support from Block.one, and you can expect to hear more updates from these great teams in future episodes. Congratulations to everyone who qualified for these grants. Now, some good news for EOS Genesis account holders who've lost their private keys. The EOS Lost Keys smart contract has been once again enabled and is now valid for a 12-month period ending on June 1, 2021. If the recent expiry of the smart contract took you by surprise, you now have another year to gain access to your account. When the EOS Lost Keys smart contract was activated in April 2019, it allowed users who'd lost their Genesis account private keys to reclaim their account by proving ownership of the Ethereum key paired to that account. During those 12 months, over 2.6 million EOS was successfully recovered through the EOS Lost Key recovery process. When the process expired in April 2020, some EOS users reached out to block producers expressing they have yet to complete the recovery process, as they were not aware it had an expiry date. After reviewing the smart contracts and making the necessary modifications, EOS Nation submitted an MSIG proposal to the top 21 block producers to enable the EOS Lost Key recovery process for another year. We're happy to report that the proposal was approved by 15 of the top 21 block producers and executed by Thierry Stodman, an EOS Nation ambassador and an active EOS Lost Key community volunteer. Token holders who lost their Genesis account key can once again gain control of their account by following the steps over at EOS Authority. And we've got some more exciting news from Block.one, this time on the voting front. It finally happened. Block.one has voted for the first time on the EOS mainnet. To mark the occasion, they had this to share on Twitter. We are excited to begin voting today for block producers on the EOS public blockchain. 56 candidates with infrastructure across 21 countries will meet our initial voting criteria, and we will begin voting for them on a rotational basis over the next 6 weeks. Starting with a list of 10 block producers, Block.one announced they will be rotating their 10 million votes over a 6-week period. It's important to note that even though Block.one is now the largest voter on the chain, they seem to be structuring their votes in a way that will bring the least amount of disruption to the current rankings. For example, this first list of block producers includes some in the top 21 as well as some in the middle range for standby block producers. Block.one has voted in a way that has not impacted the top 21 rankings and has not caused any standby block producers to fall below the pay zone. Although EOS Nation is not on the initial voting list, we're confident that we'll get our turn. Here are the 10 block producers that received these first historic votes: Attic Lab, Bitfinex, EOS Cafe Block, Huobi, EOS Rio, EOS Sweden, NewDex, OK Capital, Start EOS, and Team Greymass. Moving on now to some good news for mobile users. Fans of the Anchor wallet have even more to like these days with the recent mobile beta release for iOS. Users are invited to join their test flight beta program from their mobile Apple device to get started. Something interesting to note is that since Anchor does not include any embedded app store, it should have an easier time getting listed on the popular app stores. As for the many Android users out there, don't worry, the team is now working on the Anchor Android release. Here's an exclusive quote from Aaron Cox of Greymass. Everyone here at Greymass is incredibly excited to get the first iOS beta of Anchor out into the hands and pockets of the community. It's a project we've had in the works for about 6 months now, and is part of a much larger suite of products that we hope will push EOSIO user experience to the next level. Even in its most basic form, as a simple-to-use authenticator, it already offers many powerful ways to interact with the blockchain. With the beta underway, we're already pushing forward with new features including integration with Fuel, our solution for resource management, and will soon be introducing an account creation service to ease onboarding of new users. In parallel, we are also building out the foundational pieces we need with the help of the EOSIO developer community to bring the same experience to Android devices. In time, as these features and more are completed, we're excited by the potential changes that these technologies will bring to the EOSIO ecosystem. Easier, faster, and very flexible are the name of the game when it comes to increasing adoption, as we try to get the wallet out of the way and get users into the applications and blockchains they want to interact with. And now some fresh new content for our Dapp network lovers, Dapp Solutions, Blockument, and Blockstart. This week, Raman Bindlish from Blockstart and Jason Kemp from Dapp Solutions announced a partnership that will see them join forces as they both continue to develop on the Dapp network and onboard enterprises onto the blockchain with as little friction as possible. Visit their website for more information. Their two current projects are the Dapp accounts, which make it easy for everyone to create a blockchain account with just an email address, and the more recently announced Blockument, an e-signature software platform that leverages blockchain as a transparent, immutable record. For those who want to learn about Dapp Solutions and Blockstart, we invite you to watch the latest episode of Dapp Talks, where Zach Gell of Liquid Apps interviewed the pair of blockchain entrepreneurs. And now for all of our EOS sleuths, EOS Detective is back in full form. As mentioned in our infrastructure update, our latest hardware has enabled EOS Detective to once again keep up with the high throughput of the EOS mainnet and is showing up-to-date EOS account activity to users of the platform. For those who don't know, EOS Detective puts forensic data analysis for the EOS blockchain at your fingertips, and EOS Nation is proud to make it available to everyone. How does it work? Look up any account to visualize its token transfer history, double-click a node to expand, single-click a node to see all transfers to that node, single-click an arrow to see all individual transfers, and view individual transfers or aggregated. And that's all there is to it. But for more details on the filtering options, physics settings, and graph network queries, head on over to our EOS Detective guide. Happy sleuthing! And some good news now for those who pay close attention to their EOS resources. The EOS Resource Planner is back. Originally developed by EOS New York prior to closing up shop to join Block.one, EOS Nation is now maintaining this codebase and hosting the website to assure that all EOS users have access to this great resource. The site is very simple and easy to use, showing you a general overview of costs on one tab and offering a calculator on the other to calculate your costs based on your needs. You can find it at erp.eosnation.io. And we've got lots of news coming out of the Wax world this week. While there are lots of developments going on in the Wax community, the great success of the Topps Garbage Pail Kids trading card seems to be the dominating topic and is sending waves into the wider crypto community. Most recently, Evan Vanderberg was invited by the crypto YouTuber Crypto for a talk about Wax, Topps, and a Garbage Pail Kids giveaway broadcasted to his 118,000 subscribers. Evan gave a great introduction to Wax, and apparently surprised by the initial success of Garbage Pail Kids himself, shared his enthusiasm for the upcoming Topps products and the potential of introducing game mechanics to NFTs, a feature that would not be possible with physical cards. There seem to be a lot of talks behind the scenes with companies holding IP rights, and the value proposition is even clearer with the successful launch on Wax. It's pretty clear that this is just the beginning. Since the first Garbage Pail Kids series sold out very fast, the activity on the secondary market continues. Our newest Wax Explainer video covers the Wax Simple Market and how you can get your hands on some Garbage Pail Kids cards. You can find that here on our YouTube channel. If you want to learn more about Simple Markets and its creators, the awesome Crypto Lions, you should join the 6th Wax Meetup organized by Multiblock and EOSphere. Besides the marketplaces and Garbage Pail Kids packs opening videos, there are also some other tools and educational content for Garbage Pail Kids users being created. On NiftyCap, you'll find Garbage Pail Kids NFTs sorted by market capitalization, and Wax Sweden published a great article on how to securely manage your Garbage Pail Kid NFTs, because not your keys, not your Garbage Pail Kids. While the Wax Cloud Wallet is a great entry point for new users, at some point or at a certain value, one should consider moving to a more secure option with full and sole control over the account keys. In other Wax news, we're very grateful and happy to report that EOS Nation made it to the #1 spot in the OIG report for the month of May. Thanks to the Wax OIG for the work of rating a total of 40 Wax guilds. And last but not least, we want to make you aware of the Wax Labs Community Ideas campaign, which gives anyone the opportunity to pitch an idea that could be built on Wax. This goes out to all the visionaries and creative thinkers who are not creators or developers. Go on the record to share your ideas so that you could potentially be connected to a team that can help you realize your ideas. Speaking of Wax Labs and NFTs, let's take a look at Atomic Assets, the first project approved for funding by the Wax Labs Worker Proposal System for the creation of the Atomic Assets Hub, a new promising standard and marketplace for NFTs. 2 months ago, the proposal submitted by the Wax Guild Pink Network got approved, and the team just gave an update on the progress they've made on the road to Atomic Assets 1.0. During the first month, they mainly focused on designing the most user-friendly experience possible, so that all the functionalities of the hub could be easily understood, even by users completely new to crypto and NFTs. Atomic Assets teamed up with Dallas Rushing, CEO and founder of Karma, for this. The following month was mainly dedicated to the market contract, which comes with a few unique features. Sellers keep ownership until the asset is sold. This means that you can list your asset for sale and still continue to use it normally in dApps or use it for other trade offers. Assets are listed with USD prices. While payments for NFTs sold on Atomic Assets will be settled in crypto, prices will be set in US dollars to tackle potential confusion due to the price volatility of crypto. This is made possible by the Delphi Oracle, providing a real-time price feed to calculate how much wax needs to be spent. And finally, RAM is paid for by the dApps and not the users. Since NFTs use RAM on the blockchain, new users especially could run into unwanted difficulties. One of the core features of Atomic Assets is that dApps can pay for the RAM costs for their users, and the same priorities apply to the Atomic Assets market. Anyone can integrate the Atomic market in their app with low base fees and customizable dApp fees. The market API provided by Pink Network can be used by other teams to build their own marketplaces, allowing them to earn the 2% fee taken from each sale. Fees by the seller can be customized individually. Here it should be said that all of the various marketplaces using the Atomic Markets contract automatically share the same liquidity pool. In total, the team assessed a timeline of 3 months for the proposal, so we can expect the launch of the 1.0 version in a couple of weeks. We're very excited about the launch of this first project funded by the Wax community. If you feel the same, we suggest you join the Atomic Assets Telegram. Everyone who joins the channel before the product launch will receive a special asset. And now moving to the world of BOSS with news on their Content is King challenge. Since the BOSS IBC hub was revealed, the BOSS Core team has successfully engaged with the larger community on several occasions and published a great summary of their efforts to build the EOSIO multi-chain communities. Participants from various chains and dApps came together to send their favorite tokens across chains to demonstrate how the IBC hub works and shared the joy of cutting-edge technology. All these transactions were documented and analyzed in a detailed network activity report with some interesting pie charts. If you didn't have the chance to try your first cross-chain transaction yet, the BOSS Core team published a step-by-step guide for you to follow. And as a little incentive to try it out, BOSS Core started the Content is King challenge with a prize pool of 150,000 BOSS tokens. All you need to do to participate is to write an article about your experience of using BOSS IBC Hub, or choose another advanced feature of BOSS Core, such as BOSS 3-second lib or the EOS EVM. Read about all the details in the Content is King announcement article. Moving along now to Telos with news on Transledger and FarmGame. The Telos network created an integration with the Steam gaming platform and FarmGame, and an opportunity for competitive gaming managed by Telos smart contracts. All you need to create your own event is the Wombat wallet Chrome plugin and to follow the steps laid out in the tutorial video. The first game available on FarmGame is the very popular multiplayer online battle game Dota 2, which is played by 500,000 gamers from all around the world. After already integrating with the Unity engine in the previous month via Kudo, FarmGame is the second integration of a mainstream gaming portal, clearly showing the ambitions of Telos in the gaming industry. A second new participant of the Telos network is Transledger, an interactive platform that allows cryptocurrency to move between blockchains. Transledger will be using the Telos blockchain to enable the fast and fearless transactions we all love about EOSIO networks. The plan is to create Telos-based proxy tokens for networks like Bitcoin or Ethereum, which can then be used as a medium of exchange on decentralized exchanges. Transledger CEO Didier Martin was quoted, "Cryptocurrency users shouldn't have to rely on a centralized exchange to trade their assets when we have the ability to create secure peer-to-peer networks." As we just learned, the Wombat wallet will be the go-to login for FarmGame, the new Steam integration on Telos. And since the recent announcement of EOS VC FinLab AG to support Wombat creator Spielworks with additional funding, there has been lots more exposure and activity. For starters, the Spielworks flagship game Chain Clash was featured in Germany's biggest news outlet, promoting EOSIO-based blockchain gaming to the mainstream. Chain Clash was also featured on eGamers. As new members of the Blockchain Gaming Alliance, Spielworks presented their activities during the latest BGA meetup, along with the EOSIO projects Bounty Block, Azurus, and EOS Costa Rica. When it comes to the Wombat wallet, we're happy to see well-curated Dapp Explorer growing. For the most recent edition, the Hexa Puzzle Duel, the Wombat team published some tips and tricks so you can increase your chances to earn more tokens while playing. Just like Hexa Puzzle Duel, there are many other games on Wombat that feature pay-to-earn mechanics. You can find a complete list of those with the explanations in the recently published How to Earn EOS with Wombat article. And now some news for lovers of decentralized trading. The EOSIO community welcomes a new decentralized exchange, Alcor, to the growing list of options for peer-to-peer trading. Alcor comes with the opportunity for projects to self-list their tokens, and there are no trading fees for now. Any users can open a market for any token without filing a listing request, waiting for approval, or depending on a third party. Matching is fully on-chain and takes place in the RAM of the smart contract. If you're curious how this all works, there's a tutorial video by Hodl EOS you might find handy. This week's EOS Hot Sauce is full of opportunities for you to earn tokens by writing, gaming, sharing ideas, or testing various EOSIO-based software solutions. And here we have another one. The Equilibrium team worked hard on their newly launched DeFi web portal by adding features and designing it to be as intuitive as possible, with the goal to unlock the mystery of DeFi for the masses. Now it's up to you, the end user, to check it out and provide valuable feedback. To join the Equilibrium product testing team, you simply need to fill out a Google form. Here's what they're looking for from testers. QA tests the functionality of broader scenarios involving test cases. For example, create and connect a wallet, create EOS BTC positions, etc. QA test Equilibrium.io DeFi hub, and workflow testing. That doesn't sound like rocket science, does it? And yeah, you'll get paid for your efforts in NUT tokens, one of the highest ranking EOSIO tokens by market cap. That's what we call some spicy news on a sweet opportunity. And now some news to keep you active. PUML Challenges and live workouts. The EOSIO-based fitness app PUML is already available as an iOS application in the Apple App Store and keeps growing its user base with fun challenges and opportunities to earn crypto by staying fit. The live stream fitness workouts on the PUML website are another great initiative to introduce PUML and their fitness coaches. We also want to congratulate PUML for receiving one of the 34 EOS VC grants of $50,000. And to wrap up this week's spicy episode, the BlockBase network is ready for action. BlockBase has announced a new distribution program that will reward service providers who run the first BlockBase sidechain. The BlockBase business model requires customers who want to run their own sidechain to directly pay for the service providers that run them. A customer can customize the level of decentralization, security, and cost by adjusting the number of service providers on the network. As a pilot project, BlockBase itself is going to be the first customer and is requesting 10 to 25 service providers to run a sidechain for a duration of 1 year. BlockBase intends to use the sidechain for proof of concepts and demos to potential clients. If you're interested in potentially being a service provider, make sure to check out their latest announcement and reach out to them on Twitter or Telegram. And that's all for this week's episode of EOS Hot Sauce. We've got more spicy goodness for you every week, so subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned for the next one. If you can't wait till next week, find our previous episodes at EOSNation.io or on our YouTube channel. Once again, I'm your host Daniel Keys, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, let's keep it spicy.